whole thing wobbin', wobbin', wobbin'. When I come around, got the whole thing wobbin'.
What is going on, guys? It is Zirksee today with another YouTube video. Today we have my Team of the Week predictions. So let's get right into these, and we have Team of the Week master DeMarco Murray for the offense. Now he had 72 total offensive yards, but 3 touchdowns. Now that was in the receiving game and also the rushing game, so definitely a dual threat type of running back right there. Now onto the quarterback, honestly there wasn't any high kind of big name QBs that had great games, so we're gonna go with Brett Hundley, who had a decent game for the Packers, and they did beat the Bears. So he had 228 total offensive yards and a touchdown, so I do believe that he will probably get an upgrade. Halfback, we're going with Mark Ingram, and by the way, the Saints had 6 rushing touchdowns as a team. I believe that Drew Brees even had one himself, so that's just absolutely insane. The fact that they went from such a high-powered passing offense to a running offense is absolutely crazy. And Mark Ingram had 3 freaking touchdowns with 131 yards. I believe Alvin Kamara had one, Brees had one, and I believe another running back also had one for their team. Fullback, we're going with CJ Ham, who did have a Team of the Week before, but I believe that he can also get a new one, 83.6 Pro Football Focus rating, and he also had 13 yards. Wide receiver Adam Thielen. Honestly, at this point, you can't really call Adam Thielen underrated anymore now. He's just an absolutely amazing receiver. 166 yards and a touchdown. Adam Thielen honestly may be a top 10 receiver in the NFL. And the fact they have Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen is just absolutely unfair. Robert Woods, 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. Had an absolutely crazy game again. Robert Woods is absolutely just going off. Dion Lewis had 55 yards and a 103-yard kick return for a touchdown. Definitely think it's possible that he can get a Team of the Week as well. Tight end Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis, in the absence of Jordan Reed, has been absolutely crazy. I'm not really sure how he's been playing so well. He's honestly getting super old, and you think he'd be coming up close to retirement, but honestly, he's playing better than most tight ends in the league right now. Left tackle, we're going with Matt Khalil, who had 100 pass block efficiency rate. I don't even think he had a single pressure, so he's been absolutely killing it in Carolina. Left guard, we're going with Joe Thuney, who had an 88.7 Pro Football Focus. Center, Pat Eifin, who had an 82.1 Pro Football Focus. Right guard, Rod O'Leary, 90.1 Pro Football Focus. And at right tackle, we're going Andre Smith, who had an 87.6. So that is the offense. DeMarco Murray is going to be the master. Definitely excited to see that card, I think, if he does get the Team of the Week master, because honestly, DeMarco Murray has always had a really great card and definitely a balanced type of card. DeMarco Murray has always been, a very good fall forward type running back, and also he can catch out of the backfield. Now, as the Team of the Week defensive master, we're going with Kam Chancellor. Now, I know a lot of people probably think it should be somebody else, and I'll explain them, and you guys probably see him on this list already, but master is going to be Kam Chancellor with 10 tackles, a forced fumble, a safety, and a pass defense. Kam Chancellor definitely had an amazing week. Strong safety is going to be Patrick Chung, 4 tackles, an interception, and a pass defense. Free safety, DJ Swearinger with 5 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 2 pass defenses. Cornerback, Nevin Lawson, 3 tackles, a forced fumble, and a touchdown. Pierre Desir had 8 tackles, an interception, and 2 pass defenses. Trey Boston had 6 tackles, 2 picks, and 3 pass defense. And middle linebacker Ramon Humber had 10 tackles and a forced fumble. Nick Kwiatkowski, I believe, 10 tackles and a sack. DeAndre Campbell had 13 tackles in a pass defense. Emmanuel Ogbah had 3 tackles and 2 sacks. And then people really think this guy's going to get the Team of the Week master. Personally, I don't, because I believe he only has like 76 or 78 overall base gold. So that's why I don't think he's going to get the master, because you kind of need to have at least a decently higher overall card to get the master in the first place. So I do believe they're going to give this to Kam Chancellor, also because Kam Chancellor was some more packs for the set. But Adrian Claiborne definitely getting a Team of the Week card. 7 tackles, 6 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Thank you, Chaz Green. You're absolutely trash. Ronald Blair III had 4 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. And Sheldon Rankins had 2 tackles, a sack, an interception, and a pass defense, and it was almost a pick 6 as well. But Adrian Claiborne absolutely destroyed my Cowboys. Thank you to Chaz Green, Tyron Smith being out, and the Cowboys got absolutely destroyed. But I do want to go over the NFL games for this week and tell you guys exactly my thoughts on each one, and which one I thought was kind of an upset, and which one I think was definitely a great game. Alright, so starting off, we have the Seahawks beating the Cardinals 22-16. Andre Ellington had a 1-yard touchdown run to end the game, but Russell Wilson and Jimmy Graham, absolute beast. Jimmy Graham had 6 catches, 2 of those for touchdowns, and Russell Wilson had another decent game, 22 for 32, 238 yards and 2 touchdowns. But Arizona Drew Stanton, 24 for 47, 273 yards and a touchdown. I do believe that he actually got injured. What has been up with Adrian Peterson ever since his first game with them? He has not been performing as well. He had 21 rushes for only 29 yards. That is definitely not the best average. Larry Fitzgerald had 10 catches for 113 yards as always. That man is an absolute beast. Then the Saints killed the Bills 47-10. But the way that they won the game was crazy. I don't think I've ever seen Drew Brees not throw for a touchdown, or at least not throw for at least 200 yards. He had 18 completions for 25 attempts and 184 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Mark Ingram, 21 rushes, 131 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara had 12 rushes for 106 yards and a touchdown. Edmonds had 9 rushes for 48 yards and a touchdown. And then Drew Brees himself had 2 rushes for 6 yards and a touchdown. Then Michael Thomas had 9 catches for 117 yards. Kamara had 5 for 32. Coleman had 1 for 30. Definitely a great game for the Saints. And as you guys can see, Tyrod Taylor, 9 for 18, 56 yards and a pick. And then Peterman actually came in the game, went 7 for 10 with 79 yards and a touchdown. Shady only had 49 yards. Then we have the Packers and the Bears. The Packers actually did win this game. Brett Hundley went 18 for 25 with 212 yards and a touchdown. So not too bad of a game for him. And Trubisky also 20 for 35, 297 yards and a touchdown. So he definitely didn't have too bad of a game either. Browns and the Lions, this game was actually really close. The Browns were actually looking like they were going to win this game for a little bit. 21-37 Kaiser, 232 yards, a touchdown, a pick, and then Kessler went 1 for 3 for 5 yards. Isaiah Crowell had a touchdown, and Kaiser had a touchdown as well. But Matt Stafford, 249 yards, 3 touchdowns. Abdullah had a touchdown with 52 yards. Golden Tate, 6 for 97 and also a touchdown. So definitely was great for them. On to the next game with the Bengals and the Titans. The Titans actually did pull this one out thanks to a late touchdown to the offensive hero, DeMarco Murray, but Andy Dalton did have a 70-yard touchdown pass to A.J. Green, who had 5 catches for 115 yards and a touchdown. And then the Colts and the Steelers game was actually pretty dang close, 20-17 Brissett, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. And then we have Big Ben, who had 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, and again an interception. Juju Smith-Schuster had 97 yards and a touchdown, definitely a fan favorite right there. The Buccaneers and the Jets game was pretty close, honestly, 15-10. McCown had a touchdown, 262 yards, only 30 rushing yards for Powell, but the Buccaneers did pull the win out with Fitzpatrick having a 50% completion percentage with 187 yards and a touchdown. Doug Martin, 20 rushes for 51 yards. Not too good. The Vikings and the Redskins game, though. Case Keenum threw for 4 touchdowns, did have 2 picks, though. Latavius Murray had 68 yards and a touchdown. Adam Thielen, 166 yards and a touchdown. And Diggs, 78 yards and a touchdown. Kirk Cousins, 327 yards. And Vernon Davis was their leading receiver with 76 yards. The Jaguars and the Chargers game actually went into overtime, and thankfully AJ Boye ended up sealing the game with 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the game-losing pick for Phillip Rivers. And Melvin Gordon only had 27 rushing yards. Eckler had 77 yards and 2 touchdowns. I honestly don't know who that is. I think that's the running back. Then we have Blake Bortles, 273 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. I don't think that the Jaguars will actually end up making it far in the playoffs because of the fact that Blake Bortles is so trash. Rams versus the Texans, 33-7. Tom Savage, 222 yards, 8 touchdown, and 2 picks. DeAndre Hopkins still had over 100 receiving yards, of course. And then Goff had 355 yards for 3 touchdowns. Goff is honestly killing it. And then, of course, Robert Woods, 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then the Cowboys and the Falcons. Dak Prescott, 176 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks, but he did have a rushing touchdown. Alfred Morris, 11 for 53. Dez had 4 catches for 39 yards, but Matt Ryan, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Tevin Coleman, 83 yards and a touchdown. And Julio Jones had 6 catches for 57 yards. 49ers beat the Giants 31-21. Patriots beat the Broncos 41-16. Tom Brady, 3 touchdowns. And Deion Lewis' kick return definitely was a big factor in setting that game up. And finally, the Panthers did destroy the Dolphins. I believe that Cam Newton had a couple touchdowns, 4 touchdown passes, and Jonathan Stewart 110 yards. Cam Newton himself even had 95 yards as well. Devin Funchess had 2 touchdowns, and Jay Cutler had 2 touchdowns with an interception. But those are my team league predictions for this week. If you guys agree with these, make sure to let me know down in the comment section below and let me know if you think I should change any of these, or if you think we're going to get something new today as well with Team of the Week. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys next time.